Hey guys, Miss R here with an explanation of your first essay, all the steps that you need to go through to get everything done for it, and my suggestions of what order that you might do those things in that it would make the most sense for you. So let's take a look. We'll get our essay one assignment in week one. However, it's not actually due, I'll show you, until week three, at the beginning of week three. So you'll be working on it week one, week two, and then it is due here, your best draft, on October 19th. And I'll talk to you about what that means as well. Okay, so let's go into the assignment. So for this essay, you're going to be reading some part of Outliers and then responding to a specific question about it. So here's your prompt question. Do our families and the people outside our families who choose to mentor or help us mean more or less than the work we put into our developing our own success? So you may have thoughts that you had in the past about what success looks like or what it means. And now we're going to try to square those up with these new ideas that we have based on what Gladwell says. So you're making your own choice, but you're going to use information from what Gladwell says as to how you decide kind of what side you come down on this essay. All of this formatting stuff, if you have questions about it, just ask me, but all the information is here about how to format it. You need 3 full pages, double-spaced margins, everything you should be used to with writing papers already. And then here are some more guidelines on what needs to go into the paper, but again, I'll let you guys read those on your own. As far as due dates, there are 3 that go with this paper. So your best draft is due on the 19th, which, as I said, is the Monday of our 3rd week of classes. Your best draft, I call it that because it's not a rough draft. It's not the very first time you sat down to think about this and put any ideas together. You already did some brainstorming. You already thought about how you should organize your paragraphs. And you've already gotten, well, you won't have gotten a peer review. Okay, so hold on. You do your best draft. You put your ideas together. You submit that, okay? And as soon as you submit it, you will be immediately given 2 people to peer review. So you'll peer review their work and they'll peer review yours. So you should get back some feedback that helps to guide you and helps you think about what you might do to improve your paper. So you'll turn in your best draft on the 19th. You'll get assigned peer review folks immediately afterwards. You'll peer review. You'll get your own peer review back on the 21st. Okay. And then you will have 4 days to use those ideas, make a little bit more revision, and then turn in your polished version that's going to be the one that I grade on the 25th. Okay. So those are your due dates for this. Let's look at a timeline of what you should be doing for this paper. So first things first, you need to do some reading, okay? In order to write this paper, you're going to need to have read the intro, chapter 1 and chapter 2 of both of your books. So They Say, I Say, and Outliers. You don't need to have read all of that before you can start thinking about your paper, but in order to be able to really walk through all of this stuff, you want to have done all that reading. So get started on the reading early, okay? Then you're going to go into your summary assignment. Let me show you what that looks like. So the summary assignment shows up in week 2, and it's a summary of chapter 2 of Outliers. So that means that you have to have read chapter 2 of They Say, I Say, that tells you how to do a summary, and you have to have read chapter 2 of Outliers so that you can summarize it. So you definitely have to have done all that reading before you can do this summary exercise. Then you're going to go into your brainstorming exercise. This is where you're really free writing. You're just thinking about the topic and you're just going to go, right? You're going to go and write and not worry about grammar, paragraphs, organization, any of that stuff. You're just going to kind of let yourself think about it for a while. And then you're going to use that stuff and pull out ideas of what works and figure out how you're going to start to organize it. So summary assignment, then the brainstorming activity, then you should watch my meal plan video. So I created this video for you. It's right here under the Essay 1 assignment, and here's some resources that I talk about in the video that you can go back to and look at. You should watch this video because it will help you think about how to organize your paragraphs for the essay. Then you want to look at these two different kinds of templates that you're going to see in They Say, I Say, which are going to be very helpful to start setting up your ideas, especially setting them up in response to other people's ideas, which, as they say in They Say, I Say, is a very important thing to do. Okay, so let's look at the standard view templates. Where are they? Right here. So introducing standard views, and this is on page 23 of They Say, I Say. So these are just a bunch of examples of ways that you would introduce things that a lot of people think. It is often said that you would think that. So pick which one sounds good to you, and then you want to fill in this idea of like, what do we think success is? Or what did you think success was before Gladwell started talking about it? Next, you want to look at the quote sandwich templates, okay? This is in chapter 3. You won't actually have read chapter 3 yet, but they're very useful templates, and I suggest going to look at them as you work on your paper. So let's look at those. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Maybe I can, oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Great. So now we're going to introduce some quotations. And this is the quote sandwich thing that you're going to learn about in this chapter, which is you want to introduce a quote by talking about who said it. So X is just the author's name, so you're going to say Gladwell. Gladwell states, or as Gladwell puts it, according to Gladwell. You're going to put in the quotation that you chose, and then you got to get out of that quotation by explaining it. You're going to explain the quotation by saying, basically, Gladwell is warning us that this. In other words, Gladwell believes, and so forth. So use these templates to surround the quotations that you include in your writing to make sure that you're introducing and explaining them as best you can be. Now, let's look back at our list. Now that you have read all this stuff, summarized the chapter, done some brainstorming, watched the video and thought about how to organize your paragraphs, and then picked out some templates that you want to use, now you are really ready to start chunking your ideas into paragraphs, thinking about what the main points are that you want to make, okay? Then you're going to submit your best draft, like I said. You'll do your peer review. After you do your peer review, you want to make sure that you use the feedback that your peers gave you so that you can turn in the best possible final graded draft. And then your last step is to turn that in to me. Again, if you turn that one in and then you get a grade that you're not as happy with as you could be, you always are able to turn in yet another draft if you'd like. But this is just my suggestion of the order in which I would address all of this stuff. Since it's a lot and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, just take one thing at a time and follow this order and ask me questions if you got them. Good luck.